Yeah, again, like there's that cost savings, right? The Pew study that shows that $8 billion is sort of the cost of doing nothing.
Hmm.
That's hugely important. And I think the voluntary IRA, again, is so important because it allows you to choose what works best for you. These are Roth IRAs. The taxes are paid up front. The revenue to the state is paid up front. That has been very important to legislators in other states
Hmm.
to make sure that they don't have to worry about revenues dipping as a result of more and more folks saving for retirement with pre-tax dollars. Um, but it does have a huge impact on the state's bottom line.
Yes.
Really, the cost of doing nothing is something that resonates with taxpayers, workers, businesses, and state legislators and elected officials.
Nothing but a number promises engaging content tailored just for you. Join us as we dive deep into discussions on topics that matter to our communities.
Hello, I am Alice Bennett, Associate State Director for Advocacy with AARP Georgia, and we thank you for joining us for another episode of Nothing But a Number. Today's conversation is going to focus on why AARP stands behind work and save legislation in states, different types of retirement options that are available for individuals to choose from, and how Work and Save program impacts small businesses in their interactions with the chambers of commerce and local community leaders. So today I have with me a colleague of mine from AARP, Ms. Jessica Eckman, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself before we jump into the conversation. So Jessica, take it away.
Sure, sure. It's great to be here, Alice. Thanks for having me today. So my name is Jessica Eckman. I'm a Government Affairs Director with the AARP National Office. And as you know, AARP has 53 state offices. We've got a state office in every state. And it allows us to have this very unique perspective where we can see the country as a whole, but also build those really strong relationships in each state capital and have up to the moment information about what's happening. So my role at the national office is really to support the incredible work that our state offices do day to day and make sure they have the information, the expertise, and the resources that they need to serve the 50 plus. So the best part of my day to day is really getting to work with our state offices.
Awesome. And thank you because we work together very closely with getting this legislation passed here in Georgia. And I have truly enjoyed the partnership and the relationship that we've been able to build in the meantime. So my first question for you is working with me in this office, share why AARP, not just me in this office, maybe AARP in offices in general, why AARP stands behind AARP. Why does AARP stand behind us advocating for work and save programs in the states?
Sure. So there's a really, really huge retirement crisis in this country, right? Many people aren't saving enough for retirement. Many aren't saving anything at all.
Mhm.
So 55% of private sector workers in the state of Georgia work for an employer that does not offer a retirement savings plan. That's about 2.1 million people.
Yes.
Huge number. And it's not just bad for them, it's bad for everybody.
Hmm.
It's going to have huge consequences for the country, for the state of Georgia, if we don't do anything to address this problem. So we work closely with a number of organizations. Pew, for example, estimates that it will cost the state of Georgia about $8 billion by 2040 if we
Wow.
allow folks to retire into poverty.
Hmm.
So these work and save programs they're easy, they're plug and play. They allow workers a low cost way to save money right out of their own paychecks for retirement. And it's
Hmm.
free for businesses. That's a key point.
Yes.
It's really a win-win-win for workers, for business owners, and for state taxpayers. So we've seen great success in states around the country, and we really, really would love to see that same kind of success play out in Georgia.
So would we. So when you talk about plug and play options, can you share a little bit about what are some of the options that states have to choose from, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not just a one size fits all. There are a few different models that we've seen in states. The most common is the automatic IRA or individual retirement account, where businesses may be required to offer access to the program if they don't already offer a way for their employees to save through a private sector retirement plan. Another example is a multiple employer plan, which is it's sort of like a 401k for employers who group together. And then there's the voluntary IRA that's being proposed here in Georgia. So voluntary IRA is completely voluntary for employers and employees. There are no fees or fiduciary obligations for the business owner. And it's that low cost option for workers. So it allows businesses to attract and retain employees, and it levels the playing field a bit for the small business community while also allowing folks to save their own money for retirement. It's their own money that they can take with them from job to job. These are generally set up. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go right ahead. Finish your comment.
Just to close that out, they're generally set up with a Roth IRA as the default option, which means that these are post-tax dollars. So the state gets its revenue up front. And if needed, workers can take out contributions penalty free. It always makes me nervous saying that because I would never want these to be seen as an emergency savings account. But we have seen, particularly during the pandemic, folks were able to pull out a little bit of money here and there as needed, and then they continued to save. So they really did operate the way that we want them to. And the different options out there allow states to pick what works best for them.
And so, of course, here in the state of Georgia, we are looking at the voluntary IRA plan. So given the options and understand the dynamics of the conversations we've had about the state of Georgia, why is it attractive for elected officials to get behind this program here in this state?
Yeah, again, like there's that cost savings, right? The Pew study that shows that $8 billion is sort of the cost of doing nothing. That's hugely important. And I think the voluntary IRA, again, is so important because it allows you to choose what works best for you. These are Roth IRAs. The taxes are paid up front. The revenue to the state is paid up front. That has been very important to legislators in other states to make sure that they don't have to worry about revenues dipping as a result of more and more folks saving for retirement with pre-tax dollars. But it does have a huge impact on the state's bottom line. Really, the cost of doing nothing is something that resonates with taxpayers, workers, businesses, and state legislators and elected officials.
Yes, I totally agree because I know in the conversations that we've had with some of the elected officials, when you throw that cost of doing nothing figure out there, their eyes light up and their eyebrows raise because they really didn't realize that would be the impact it would have on the state. So
it's staggering.
It is very staggering, very staggering. So my next question is, when you think about AARP, and this is just from my experience of working with us for so long. When you think about AARP, when you're out in the community having conversations about AARP, the biggest thing and the most that people remember or know about us is that we're a benefits company. We sell insurance. They don't really know about all the work we do around supporting caregivers, protecting individuals from fraud, developing livable communities, and they definitely don't always know about the work we do around advocacy and advocating. So when you talk about AARP and how do we tell the story differently? Share your insights on how Work and Save programs support like other things, not just seniors, but like small businesses. What are some of the interactions we have with chambers of commerce, community partners, and those kinds of things?
Yeah, so this is a great question. I'm glad it's one that we can touch on. So we do a lot of work through our state offices and through our excellent consultants with the small business community specifically. So many of our members are small business owners. We work hard to listen to them, to understand their needs, to support those needs. We do small business owner surveys across the country on this issue, and we consistently find that small business owners really want to offer retirement plans to their employees, but it's oftentimes too confusing, too costly, and too time consuming.
Yeah.
And that's very real. We find that out in our surveys, but just anecdotally and speaking with the business community, that's something that comes up time and time again. So Work and Save does really solve for those problems. It's that easy plug and play program. It's low cost for workers. It's free for employers. And we've worked with chambers of commerce in every state on this issue of retirement security. And we really value that input and that partnership because these programs benefit everyone. And one question that I sometimes get is, this is AARP. I mean, the best time to start saving is when you're younger, right? So why are we in the business of helping young people save? And my answer is kind of twofold on that. One, yes, the best time to start saving is as soon as possible, right? As
Yes,
early as you possibly can, when you're as young as you can start saving.
exactly.
Um, Everybody knows that there are kids, grandkids that they have who need to be able to save. It's also incredibly important for the state's bottom line, right? We're all taxpayers. We all don't want to have to pay for this if people are not able to save their own money. But the flip side of that is also that most people are not able to retire at the age of 50 anymore,
That
right?
is so true. So
If
true. If it
ever,
were,
but
I would be retired
particularly now.
already.
Exactly. It's something where most people are working longer and longer, either because they're passionate about something and they're able to keep working in that field, or because they have to. That's the reality for many, many people. And even if you're later in your career, putting just a little bit of money away, being able to push off taking Social Security just a little bit and delay that can have a huge impact on your life long term.
Yes.
So we really, really try to reinforce the message that this really is for everybody. It's not just for younger folks. This is something that can benefit everybody in one way or another.
Yes, it most certainly can, most certainly can. So we're coming to the end of this episode, and just wanted to see if there was any parting words of wisdom that you would have for me or any other community leader that's looking to pass legislation in their area.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic that Georgia is working on this kind of program. Like I said, there's been incredible success with this. To date, these state programs have helped workers save more than $1.2 billion. That's a huge amount of money in a few short years, and it really shows what a huge impact these kinds of programs can have. And AARP has long been at the forefront of this advocacy work. We're really in it for the long haul. We build that support. We pass the legislation, seeing it through all the way through implementation. And sometimes people say saving for retirement is really important. I'll get to it later. It's so critical to start now. Start as soon as you can with whatever you can. And AARP wants to support those efforts and make sure people can have a secure future as they age. So, I'm just really excited that Georgia and other states are working on these programs. They have a real tangible impact. The work that you all do with the business community in Georgia has been incredible. And I just, I'm excited always to come on and talk about these things. So thank you again for having me. It's always great to see you, Alice, and it's always great to work with the state of Georgia.
And it's great to see you as well, Jessica. And you talking about later. Later comes a lot faster than it used to. Time flies so fast. It's best to go ahead and get yourself situated for your retirement as soon as you possibly can. But it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking with you, always a pleasure working with you. And I want to say thank you again for joining us for this episode of Nothing But a Number. For those of you who are listening, if you want to stay connected, please make sure that you follow us at aarp.org, Georgia, GA, and then also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay connected to the work as we move forward. So thank you again, Jessica, and thank you for joining us.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Nothing But a Number. Thank you so much for joining us and diving into the conversations that shape our communities. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and inspiring. Remember, new episodes drop every Wednesday at 12 noon on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. To stay up to date with all our latest episodes and to continue exploring the topics that matter most to you, be sure to subscribe and follow Nothing But a Number on your preferred podcast platform. Your engagement and support means the world to us. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider sharing it with friends and family who might also find value in our content. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected, and we'll meet you right here next Wednesday. Take care.
people say saving for retirement is really important. I'll get to it later. It's so critical to start now. Start as soon as you can with whatever you can. And AARP wants to support those efforts and make sure people can have a secure future as they age. So, I'm just really excited that Georgia and other states are working on these programs. They have a real tangible impact. The work that you all do with the business community in Georgia has been incredible. And I just, I'm excited always to come on and talk about these things. So thank you again for having me. It's always great to see you, Alice, and it's always great to work with the state of Georgia.
And it's great to see you as well, Jessica. And you talking about later. Later comes a lot faster than it used to. Time flies so fast. It's best to go ahead and get yourself situated for your retirement as soon as you possibly can. But it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking with you, always a pleasure working with you. And I want to say thank you again for joining us for this episode of Nothing But a Number. For those of you who are listening, if you want to stay connected, please make sure that you follow us at aarp.org, Georgia, GA, and then also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay connected to the work as we move forward. So thank you again, Jessica, and thank you for joining us.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Nothing But a Number. Thank you so much for joining us and diving into the conversations that shape our communities. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and inspiring. Remember, new episodes drop every Wednesday at 12 noon on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. To stay up to date with all our latest episodes and to continue exploring the topics that matter most to you, be sure to subscribe and follow Nothing But a Number on your preferred podcast platform. Your engagement and support means the world to us. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider sharing it with friends and family who might also find value in our content. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected, and we'll meet you right here next Wednesday. Take care.